Do you know that one of the traits that distinguished David was competence? Welcome to today's edition of Insight with Ezekiel as we continue to make progress with the ongoing series, 7 traits that distinguish David and how they can distinguish us. Competence was one of the traits that distinguished David. What does it mean to be competent? To be competent means to possess sufficient knowledge, sufficient skill, and sufficient ability for a particular task. I want to share with you 2 scriptures that validate the fact that David was a person of competence. Are you ready? The first scripture is found in 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 16 to 18. At that time, Saul occasionally was tormented by an evil spirit, and his workers reached out to him, and the advice to him was to hire someone who was competent with playing the harp, so that each time the person begins to play the harp, the effect of the torment will begin to reduce, as it were. Saul listened to the advice, and he told them to get someone for him who was skillful at playing the harp. And someone recommended David because David had competence in playing the harp. That was how David got to the palace. He got to the palace on account of his competence. The second scripture is found in Psalm 78, verse 72. The Bible declares that David led them according to the integrity of his heart and the skillfulness of his hands. And the skillfulness of his hands, this reveals high level of competence. So one of the traits that distinguished David was the fact that David was highly competent. In conclusion, I want to share with you 3 reasons why you and I must, not may, must be competent. Number 1, you and I must be competent because people only do business with competent people. People only do business with competent people. Number 2, you and I must be competent because people only recommend competent people. And finally, you and I must be competent because lack of competence is a recipe for a life of mediocrity. Lack of competence is a recipe for a life of mediocrity. Every one of us desires to become distinguished. Then we must become very competent. Have an amazing day. See you tomorrow. Thank you.